Hi children, how are you all doing? Happy to be back. So today we are going to learn about the structure of ovum, right? So structure of ovum. Already I have taught you about this in your oogenesis, but not very clear. So I have taken this topic so that you can understand the structure very well. Alright guys, I have taught you in oogenesis that uh, you know when the egg gets released, right, that unfertilized egg released from the mature graphene follicle. Guys, what do you call that as? The secondary oocyte. Correct? It's the secondary oocyte. It's not the ovum, I have told you. Right. So this secondary oocyte, when it gets fertilized, that is when it meets the sperm, it will complete its meiosis too and get converted into the ovum. Clear? So clear with the difference between the secondary oocyte and ovum? Right. So far it is the secondary oocyte. Now if you might wonder why ma'am has added this picture. Look at the beautiful picture, guys. So this picture was caught when they were doing routine surgery, right? It's surgery related to the female reproductive tract, and they accidentally found this beautiful thing happening, right? The egg was coming out of the ovary that the person was ovulating. So they immediately took the picture, and look at the beautiful picture, guys. The dark color structure which you see here is the graphene follicle, and that which is coming out is the egg, right? Look at the egg, guys. Beautiful, right? Yes. Yeah. Yes. So that is the picture for you. So this egg which is coming out is actually the secondary oocyte and not the ovum. Be clear with that. Only when the sperm enters, right, and contributes some centriole, it will complete the second meiosis and get converted to ovum. Alright. So now let us discuss some characteristics of the ovum. So guys, this size, if you take the size of the ovum, we call it the largest cell in the human body, right? It's roughly around 100 micrometers in diameter, alright? So it's the largest cell, we say. And if you look at the shape, they are round and they are non-motile, guys. So unlike the sperm, if you take the sperms, they have the tails because they have to swim and reach the fallopian tube to bring about the fertilization. So but here they do not move, right? They are non-motile. And I'm going to introduce you two words. They are non-cladoic, which means, guys, they do not have shell. No shell is present as far as the human egg is concerned. But if you see the chick egg, of course, the chicken egg, you can see the shell there, right? But yeah, we human beings do not have a shell. And then they are alecital or microlecital. What is this alecital or microlecital? It means, guys, lecital means yolk sac. If you see the chicken egg, right, you can see this yolk part, right, a very big yolk inside the egg. That is actually what is supplying the nutrients for the growth of the chick inside the egg, right? But if you take the human beings, it's alecital or microlecital means, guys, it is present in the primitive state. It's present in very minute quantity, right? So you can either call it alecital absent, or since very minute quantity is present, you call it microlecital. You can use both of these words, they will give you marks. So the yolk sac is not there, that's the meaning. It's there, but it's very less in amount, and it's not giving any nutrients. If you ask me, ma'am, then who's giving the nutrients? We have a placenta, right, which is a disc shaped organ which develops during pregnancy and nourish the baby through the umbilical cord. So placenta develops for nourishment, right? So these are the words which you have to keep in your mind, right? Clear with the children? So they are round, non-motile, non-cladoic, alecital or microlecital. The size is around 100 micrometers, right? And I have shown you a beautiful picture also. Clear? Right. So this thing you have to definitely know. And then let us begin the structure of the ovum, right? So talking about, this is a beautiful picture, guys. Okay, this is a beautiful picture Of course, you can see the nucleus of the egg there. So guys, in this picture you can see a sperm which is there inside the egg, right? But now just concentrate the egg now. So you can see the nucleus of the egg, which we call it the germinal vesicle. Germinal vesicle. If you hear the word germinal vesicle, do not wonder, it's nothing but the nucleus of the egg, right? And then guys, if you take the egg as a cytoplasmic region, right? So as you can see in this picture, so this complete thing within is the cytoplasmic region. So you can see that there is two division, okay? So that there is some outer region and an inner region. The inner part we call it the ooplasm, and this outer part we call it the exoplasm, which means ooplasm plus exoplasm is what is making the cytoplasm, right? Cytoplasm of the egg is the ooplasm plus the exoplasm. But guys, if you take the majority, ooplasm is what is present in greater quantity, right? So you can just call it, if they ask you which is cytoplasm, you can just call it the ooplasm, because exoplasm is just present in the outer side. So ooplasm contributes the majority of the cytoplasm. If you ask, ma'am, what is there inside the ooplasm? So guys, you actually have the nucleus, which is the germinal vesicle, and all the cell organelles are there. And that very microlethal yolk sac, very less yolk sac is also there, right? And talking about which is not present, you can say centrioles. No centrioles, they do not have centrioles, right? And then they have something called more amount of mitochondria, right? The powerhouse, right? So these are the things which you have to know regarding the egg cell, right? Now let us talk about the layers. Okay guys, there are actually 3 layers present. Okay, I am just removing off everything. Okay, so there are 3 layers present, guys. Actually, what are the 3 layers now? A inner layer, a middle layer, and a outer layer. Inner, middle, and outer layer. If you ask me which is the inner layer, guys, the egg membrane, right? So which is surrounding this ooplasm, right? That is the inner membrane, egg membrane, which we call it the vitelline membrane. Vitelline membrane is nothing but the egg membrane. And the middle layer, guys, can you see a yellow part which is surrounding the vitelline membrane? That is actually a non-cellular region devoid of cells. So this region is the middle layer actually. So it is non-cellular glycoprotein, guys. Non-cellular glycoproteins. Glycoproteins means sugars in proteins. It's a gel-like substance. So that region we call it the zona pellucida. Zona pellucida. Alright. And then surrounding the zona pellucida, you can see these follicular cell or the granulosa cells, which you say. They are arranged in the radial form, right? Like this, radially. Yes, so we call that region as, the outer region as the corona radiata. Corona radiata, right? Okay guys, this corona radiata is derived from the follicular cells, okay, or the granulosa cells, and they are held together by an acid called hyaluronic acid. Hyaluronic acid is what holds all this, the complete corona radiata in position, right? So that is the hyaluronic acid, so keep that in your mind. Alright guys, so this is about the 3 layers, the inner vitelline, the middle zona pellucida, and the outer corona radiata, right? So guys, there is a space. Can you see if this is the vitelline membrane and if this is the zona pellucida? Inside, in between them you can find a space, okay? What is that space called now? So that space is called as the perivitelline space, okay? Perivitelline space. So if you ask me, ma'am, what is this space for? Guys, in the meiosis part of, I mean in the oogenesis, we learned that there will be some polar bodies formed, right? So the first polar body of the meiosis one actually lies in this space. And of course they degenerate, but they lie in this space, okay? Right? So all these things you have to know regarding the structure of the ovum. Right. Now only a little concept is left. So we will see that as well. Right. So guys, can you see that one region, one pole, one side of the egg has this active cytoplasmic region, right? Active cytoplasm. What do I mean by active cytoplasm, guys? Where they have the nucleus, right? Where they have the nucleus. That pole, that side of the egg, we call it the animal pole. What is the pole, guys? We call that to be the animal pole. And the side where you do not have the nucleus but you have the yolk sac, right? That we call it the vegetal pole. Vegetal pole. Okay, so there are two poles called animal pole and vegetal pole. Animal pole is where you have the active cytoplasm. That is, where is this nucleus present? If this is present, the nucleus is present the other side, then that will be the animal pole, right? So just know there are two poles of an egg, animal pole and the vegetal pole. Now, what is the significance of the animal pole? It has a beautiful significance. The sperm always enter through the animal pole, right? The sperm always enter through the animal pole, so that it becomes easy for it to penetrate, fuse with the nucleus of the egg, right? The sperm always penetrates through the animal pole, right? Yes, so this is about the structure of the egg, guys. So I think you guys found it very interesting. So just know, I will quickly summarize everything. We learned that the unfertilized egg, which is released from the mature Graafian follicle, is a secondary oocyte and not ovum. Only when it gets fertilized, right? Only when it meets the sperm and the sperm contributes its proximal centriole, it becomes the ovum. So regarding the properties of the characteristic, they are 100 micrometer in size and they are round, non-motile, non-cladoic and alethal or microlethal. And the nucleus, we call it the germinal vesicle, right? And the ooplasm is the major composition of the cytoplasm, right? Ooplasm plus exoplasm is what forms the cytoplasm, and ooplasm contains the nucleus, all the organelles and very little amount of yolk sac. And they are devoid of centrioles and they have lots of mitochondria. Inner vitelline, middle zona pellucida and the outer corona radiata. The space between the vitelline membrane and the zona pellucida is called the perivitelline space, right? And then talking about corona radiata, it is held together by hyaluronic acid. So keep that in mind. So that is why the sperm gives out, the acrosome of the sperm gives out hyaluronidase, so that it can penetrate through the corona radiata. Alright children, and then the vegetal pole, animal pole is through which the sperm penetrates, so that it becomes easy for it to fuse with the nucleus. That's it children, bye bye, have a great day.